What happens when the most powerful man in world football tries to sell a stake in the game itself? Right now, Gianni Infantino is facing the most serious challenge of his entire presidency. The English Football Association is preparing to formally withdraw its support. UEFA is openly threatening legal action. Wales has already pulled its backing. Scotland is quietly aligning against him. And this is only the beginning. This is no longer a quiet internal disagreement. This is a public power struggle at the highest level of global football governance, and it could shape who controls the sport for the next decade. Gianni Infantino became FIFA president in 2016 after the organization was rocked by one of the biggest corruption scandals in sports history. The previous leadership under Sepp Blatter had collapsed under FBI investigations, arrests, and widespread accusations of bribery. Infantino presented himself as the reformer, a Swiss-Italian lawyer who would clean up FIFA, modernize it, and make it more transparent. In many ways, he delivered on the commercial side. Under his leadership, FIFA's revenues grew significantly. The World Cup expanded from 32 to 48 teams. New competitions were created, prize money increased, and FIFA's global influence expanded into new markets. He is now preparing to stand for a fourth and final term in March next year. To win, he needs at least 106 votes out of FIFA's 211 member associations. On paper, that still looks achievable. But the political ground under his feet is shifting, especially in Europe. The immediate trigger for this crisis is a commercial proposal that FIFA calls the FIFA Forward Enterprise, or FFE. The idea was straightforward but radical. FIFA wanted to create a new commercial subsidiary that would manage its biggest competitions, including the World Cup. External private investors would then be invited to buy minority, non-controlling stakes in this company. FIFA framed it as a way to bring in new capital, professionalize operations, and increase the value of its events. From a pure business perspective, the logic is clear. The World Cup is one of the most valuable properties in global sport. Allowing private capital in could unlock even larger sums of money. But for many European federations, this crossed a fundamental line. They saw it as the beginning of the privatization of the World Cup, the slow transfer of control and long-term value away from the member associations and toward private investors. UEFA's response was unusually aggressive. In a formal letter to Infantino, UEFA stated that it is actively considering legal action, arbitration, and regulatory complaints. It also demanded that FIFA immediately preserve all documents and electronic records related to the FFE plan, language normally used when an organization is preparing for serious legal proceedings. This story is about more than one president or one commercial scheme. It is about the future structure of power inside global football. FIFA sits at the intersection of sport, money, and international politics. Decisions about who controls the World Cup, how its revenues are shared, and how open it becomes to private capital will shape the sport for decades. Europe has now drawn a line. The question is whether the rest of the football world will follow, negotiate, or ignore it. I'll continue tracking this closely in the coming weeks. If you want deeper analysis on how FIFA voting blocks actually work, or how this fits into the wider politics of international sports organizations, let me know in the comments.